Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 3rd of July. So, well, we're still in the downward trend on the euro dollar. We moved down quite nicely yesterday for a period, but as I've been saying for a while, I think we may end up in this choppy period when we will actually probably walk or break our way out of this downward trend, but very much in a sideways action unless something particularly bright and beautiful turns up for the euro, or something poor happens for the US dollar. But at the moment it has had a little pitch up again this morning so far, so we're just seeing this sort of pitch here, and I don't really like the upside too much. I mean, there's the potential to trade the upside back towards the 4 200 etc, but when you start looking down the time frames as well as looking at the top time frame, to me says bearish. The sentiment on the markets on the euro is still relatively bearish. The picture, what I'm seeing here, well, it's put in this very short-term time frame, high lows, high highs in just, but I'm not totally convinced, and we'll see. I mean, most of the Asian session there has been just chopping, which is quite nice. If it breaks that level, I'm interested in the short side, maybe down to yesterday's lows there or today's S1, somewhere in that region. So I've just been a bit patient. If it just pops up without me this morning, which is possible it may do, then it'll be without me literally, because I don't fancy it alongside. So there we are, and I may be missing opportunity, but I think most of it really should be selling off. But there we are. I think there's enough weaknesses in the euro to see it drop. Right, that's my opinion anyway. Pound. So if it rallies without me. The pound is still a weak one, but as I keep on saying, there's a risk. The risk is that it could equally put a short squeeze on as well as sell off. So it makes it for a tricky market to be trading a lot of the time. That isn't to say there's not trades to be had and movement and trades to be had. So it may be that you just want to be careful, be wary of any news. There's no news today, I should add, until 9:30. Got the construction PMI out later. It might be enough to just kick it a little bit. At the moment, we've again, it's been running down quite nicely. It's done this sort of second little run up there, broken there, confirmed a higher low in. So all intents and purposes, it's probably bullish. It's already hit the weekly pivot. It hasn't caught its monthly pivot. There's a chance that anything positive will see it pushing up towards that sort of level at some point during the week or month. But for now, it's neutral to bearish to me. So again, I would be looking at taking the trend line now. I'm saying taking the trend line, I'm just sort of looking at this. Oh, it's not going to give me a trend line. It's the second time I've asked for it. Come on, give me a trend line. What's going on with you? Ah, there we go. Don't ever mess around with charting software when you're trading. Talking as this sort of less aggressive, the conservative trend line that's sitting across the lows there. If it starts breaking there, well then. It to me it looks more bearish at the moment. As I said, with that high low in an edge of positivity sitting there, it may just want to carry on pushing up, but I still think eventually it may be erring back to the downside, and I'd rather just wait. Now we may get some retracements, etc. The Fibonacci retracements that you might want to be looking at. It may react again to this 50 MA. It's reacted to it previously, but it's already tested it a couple of times. But I should just wait post 8 o'clock and see what happens. Not really too keen on the long side on it. As I said, there are the opportunities occasionally that something good might come out, and we just get that sort of bullish movement that drives it and causes a short squeeze. So there's always the so it's a double-edged sword there. So dollar yen just plodding its way up, and I wouldn't be trading against this at the moment. It's trouble. Odd thing is, it still plods its way up when everything else is bullish, it's also plodding its way up. So it is a slow unwinding of positions, maybe at the best possible prices. You just see it sort of come back in this sort of channel really that is sitting in there, very tight channel, and you just see it coming back, and then it starts getting bought again. I mean, there's some great examples yesterday. Back here, look, it came back in the morning there, just chopped for a long time, eventually got back up to the prior highs there, and it's sort of doing the same. It's sort of just chopping, pushing up. It's just the way it's going. That's the pattern of it. So it may offer opportunities to continue to the upside at some point. Any retracements may be opportunities to buy, but don't like to do anything else. Now it has got the weekly pivot and monthly pivot untouched below, so if at any stage we see this 60-minute 50 broken, maybe that's a sign of some weakness, and at that point we could look at potential shorts on it. But for now, it's got a bullish intent there. It's very neutral for the big money. The sentiment is very neutral on it, so maybe more upside. Okay, so euro, Aussie dollar even. It sounds like the euro not. Aussie dollar, well, we had the rate statement made, and the cash rate was left at 1.5, interest rate was left at 1.5 even. That seems to have cheered the market up a tad. We're seeing a bit of a rally at the moment. It may want to push on upwards. It's got again a monthly pivot that sits above, which could be a draw. It's a funny old one, the Aussie dollar. It may be, and as I pull it from the daily point of view here, it was diverged last week, and it's probably double diverged into early part of this week with yesterday's point there. So there's traders probably looking at this, and I think there's opportunity. Maybe the sentiment seems to be nearing an extreme. I was trying to I need to have another look at that, but it may be the sentiment's gone a little bit too tight on it, which sometimes when you see that happen, we may see a reversal. I'll check that one out, but it certainly looks like it's got the potential, maybe. But with these currencies that had sort of 1.5% interest rate playing, as was New Zealand dollar, that when they were sitting at 1.5 and the US dollar was 0.25%, it would make sense to sell the US dollar and buy the Aussie dollar. Now that's all been unwound. A lot of that, which would be called the carry trade, has been unwound, but it's possibly still a edge of it there, and it may still have some further downside because the US rate's accelerating at a higher speed. Okay, for now then, bullish intent by the looks of things, but I'd watch this carefully. If the other market starts selling off, as we're probably already seeing, the pounds just pull back a little bit, maybe this will pull back towards its daily pivot again. It has been touched, so it's no absolute probability trade, but it may still pull back there if the other markets are selling off. But otherwise, it's erring on that the higher lows and intermediate time frame. It's erring a little bit bullish. Canadian dollar, finally. Canadian dollar. It's gained from the price of oil. It's not done a lot this morning. Yesterday it was a bullish Arami maybe, so it may have some further upside there. Still got an untouched monthly pivot just below, and that with the pattern what I'm seeing on this 4 hourly, it looks like it may just roll over towards that. But I don't trust the Canadian dollar as far as I could spend it really. It tends to go in these long periods of chop, and it may be just starting to do that again at the moment. So and that you look at this hourly point of view, well, yep, lower highs in it, it may be rolling. Okay, that's it for me. Nothing else today. We've got just construction PMI out at 9:30. Have a great one. Bye for now.